Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today's Monday, May 8th, 2023. I'm going to try to be as quick as possible today. Stanley Cup and NBA playoffs, Major League Baseball, soccer, Kentucky Derby recap, golf, NASCAR, the NHL lottery. We'll preview that and news and notes. No best bet today. All right, NBA playoffs. We'll go over the results from the weekend and look ahead to tonight's games. Friday, Celtics over the Sixers, 114-102 to take a 2-1 series lead. Jameson Tatum had 27. Joel Embiid had 30 and 13. Suns over the Nuggets, 121-114 to get on the board in the series. Jamal Murray had 32 points. Kevin Durant was brilliant, but Devin Booker had 47. And Durant's line was 39, 9, and 8. So Durant looked like the old Kevin Durant in that game. Saturday, Heat over the Knicks, 105-86 as they take a 2-1 series lead. Jimmy Butler, 28 points. Jalen Brunson had 20 and 8 assists. Lakers killed the Warriors, 127-97 to take a 2-1 series lead. Anthony Davis, 25 points and 13 boards. Stephen Curry only had 23. It's pedestrian for him. And then Sunday, Sixers over the Celtics, 116-115 in overtime to tie the series at 2 apiece on yet another game-winning 3 by James Harden. 42 points for Harden, 9 assists. Jason Tatum had 24 points and 18 boards. Suns over the Nuggets, 129-124 to even up this baby at 2 apiece. Kevin Durant, 36 points, 11 boards, and Nikola Jokic, 53 points and 11 assists. The Nuggets still couldn't win with the Jokic 53-point game, which is crazy. But Booker and Durant each had 36, so it makes sense. So Kevin Durant looking like the old Kevin Durant in these last 2 games is a wonderful sign for the Suns, and now that series is 2-2, as is Celtics Sixers, so I think we're in for a fantastic end to the second round here. All right, 7:30 TNT tonight. You have Knicks Heat Game 4. My projections, Miami 2.5, total 223. And the 10th, no Emmanuel quickly for the Knicks, but he's been MIA in these whole playoffs, so that doesn't affect the point spread, in my opinion. Like, this isn't Brunson we're talking about. And now we are seeing why Brunson should have been the 6th man. So it's Heat 4.5, total 206.5. I'm still going to play the over again. I think the offenses will be better than people think. 3-point shooting would be better. I don't know if the Knicks will win outright, but I think they cover the 4.5. If the series is 2-2, then New York has a legit chance to win it. If not, then Miami in 6 feels like a certainty. Although Miami in 5 could happen, but I just don't see the Knicks losing at the Garden in their last game. 10:30 TNT, Warriors-Lakers. You think this is going to be Brian Anderson and Stan Van Gundy. Ian Eagle and Jim Jackson will probably be Knicks Heat. My line's Lakers by 4, total 233 and 3/4, and it's 3 and 227.5. I like the over here too. The overs have been money in this series. I know some of the blowouts have kind of skewed it a little bit, but the 3-point shooting and everything. But I'm going to say Golden State wins this game outright, even though I do have the Lakers by 4 and the line's 3. I think one of these road teams is going to win tonight. If you ask me which one, Knicks or Golden State, I'm going to say it's Golden State because of their experience and everything. I mean, it wouldn't be surprising if the Knicks win too, but I'm going to say the Golden State Warriors bounce back. More likely to bounce back from terrible performance. Knicks or Warriors, I'm going to say Golden State. Only because of the pedigree. All right, the Stanley Cup playoffs. Interesting weekend. We'll go over all the results, and then we have a couple of games to go over for tonight. So Friday, Hurricanes killed the Devils 6-1 to take a 2-0 series lead. Number 3 started game with 2 goals. Barry Kotkaniemi. Number 2 started game with 28 saves on 29 shots. Frederick Anderson. Number 1 started game with a goal and assist. Jordan Martinook. Saturday, Oilers over the Golden Knights 5-1 as that series is 1-1. The number 3 started game with a goal and assist. Evan Bouchard. Number 2 started game with 2 goals and an assist. Connor McDavid. Number 2 started game with 2 goals. Leon Draisaitl. And then Sunday, Devils bounced back and beat the Hurricanes 8-4 to get on the board in the series. Number 3 started the game with the goal. Timo Meier. First goal of the playoffs too. Number 2 started game with a goal and an assist. Nico Hischier. Number 1 started game with 2 goals and 2 assists. Jack Hughes. Panthers over the Maple Leafs 3-2 in overtime on a game winner by Sam Reinhart as they take a commanding 3-0 series lead. Number 3 started game with 22 saves on 24 shots. Sergei Bobrovsky. Number 2 started game with a goal. Anthony Duclair. Number 1 started game with the overtime winner Sam Reinhart. Kraken over the Stars 7-2. The number 3 star of the game with the goal, Carson Souzy. Number 2 started the game with 24 saves on 26 shots. Philip Grubauer. Number 1 started the game with the goal and an assist, Matty Beniers. So, wonderful win for the Kraken. Now we move on to tonight. Only one game, 8:30 ESPN, Golden Knights Oilers. That obviously follows the Connor Bedard sweepstakes. Edmonton is a huge favorite at home tonight. They're minus 182. Vegas is plus 150 over under 6.5. Overs minus 144. Unders plus 118. Vegas plus 1.5 is minus 152. Oilers minus 1.5 is plus 126. I'm going to go take a ballsy pick and take the Vegas Golden Knights to win straight up at plus 150. I think the Oilers are overvalued. They're favored on the road in both games. They did come away with the split. But I still don't trust that goaltending situation. And they can go as long as their stars take them. But I think they're due to lose on home ice. I know their goalie's up for the Calder Trophy. It's cute. But it's not going to matter when the Oilers lose in the playoffs. And he's the reason. So I'm going to take Vegas at plus 150 to knock off the Oilers as a pretty significant underdog. All right, now I'll move on to baseball. We'll go over the results from yesterday and the rest of the weekend and look ahead to everything today. All right, Friday night, Cubs over Marlins 4-1. Blue Jays over the Pirates 4-0. White Sox over the Reds 5-4. Red Sox over the Phillies 5-3. Rays over the Yankees 5-4. Mets over the Rockies 1-0. Twins over the Guardians 2-0. Orioles over the Braves 9-4. A's over the Royals 12-8. Tigers over the Cardinals 5-4. Angels over the Rangers 5-4-10 on a walk-off wild pitch. D-backs over the Nats 3-1. Padres over the Dodgers 5-2. Astros over the Mariners 6-4. Giants over the Brewers 6-4. Saturday, Tigers over the Cardinals 6-5-10. Cubs over the Marlins 4-2. Rockies over the Mets 5-2. Guardians over the Twins 4-3. Blue Jays over the Pirates 8-2. Reds over the White Sox 5-3. A's over the Royals 5-4. Yankees over the Rays 3-2. Braves over the Orioles 5-4. Red Sox over the Phillies 7-4. Brewers lose at the Giants 4-1. D-backs over the Nats 8-7 on a walk-off walk. Dodgers over the Padres 2-1. Rangers over the Angels 10-1. And Mariners over the Astros 7-5. All right, yesterday's games. Braves over the Orioles 3-2 in 12 on a walk-off double by Michael Harris. Phillies over the Red Sox 6-1. Blue Jays over the Pirates 10-1. Rays over the Yankees 8-7-10 on a walk-off single by Isaac Paredes. Rockies over the Mets 13-6. Yikes. Maybe the Yankees are not the worst team in New York right now in baseball. Guardians over the Twins 2-0. Royals over the A's 5-1. Cards over the Tigers 12-6. Marlins over the Cubs 5-4-14. Brewers over the Giants 7-3. Rangers over the Angels 16-8. White Sox over Reds 17-4. Mariners over the Astros 3-1. Nats over the D-backs 9-8. And Dodgers over the Padres 5-2 and 10 on Sunday Night Baseball. All right, tonight's games, not as many games. 6 o'clock, you have the Tigers and the Guardians. Joey Wentz and Tanner BB. Guardians minus 190, Tigers plus 160, over under 7.5, minus 175. Tigers plus 1.5 is minus 134. Guardians minus 1.5 is plus 112. I like the over in that game. 6:30 Rays O's. Big series here. Shane McClanahan and Kyle Gibson. Rays minus 178. Orioles plus 150, over under 8. Overs minus 114, unders minus 106. Rays minus 1.5 is minus 102. O's plus 1.5 is minus 118. I'm going to go with the O's on the run line, plus 1.5 at minus 118. The Rays were a couple plays away from being swept by the Yankees. Just throwing that out there. Rockies, Pirates, Kyle Freeland and Mitch Keller. Pirates minus 174, Rockies plus 146, over under 8, overs minus 122, unders even money. Rockies plus 1.5 is minus 137, Pirates minus 1.5 is plus 114. Kyle Freeland's actually been pretty good for the Rockies this year. I'm going to go with the full game under 8 at even money. That wasn't a pick I was expecting to give out. 7 o'clock, A's Yankees from the stadium. JP Sears and Nestor Cortez. Yanks minus 230, A's plus 190, over under 8.5. Overs minus 105, unders minus 115. A's plus 1.5 is minus 115. Yankees minus 1.5 is minus 102. Full game over. 7:30, White Sox Royals. Dylan Cease and Zach Greinke. White Sox minus 134, Royals plus 114, over under 8.5, minus 175. White Sox minus 1.5 is plus 118, Royals plus 1.5 is minus 142. I'll take the Royals straight up with Zach Greinke plus 114. I think the White Sox are overrated. Dodgers Brewers are a really good series. Tony Gonsolin and Freddie Peralta. Dodgers minus 110, Brewers plus or minus 106, over under 8.5. Overs minus 114, unders minus 106. Dodgers minus 1.5 is plus 160, Brewers plus 1.5 is minus 94. I'm going to go with the Brewers at minus 106 to win at home. In a prove-it series for them. Cardinals Cubs. This is a big series. Miles Mikolas and Marcus Stroman. The Cubs are minus 154. The Cards are plus 130, over under 7. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. Cards plus 1.5 is minus 182. Cubs minus 1.5 is plus 150. For this one, I'm going to go with the full game over. 9:30, Astros Angels. Hunter Brown, Patrick Sandoval. Astros minus 132, Angels plus 104. Over under 9. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. Astros minus 1.5 is plus 132. Angels plus 1.5 is minus 160. I'm going to go with the Angels on the money line plus 104. This is a big series for the Angels. If they don't win this series, nobody is going to take them seriously for right now. A prove-it series. I think there's a team under the most pressure to come away with the winning series here this week. Or this session of series. Marlins D-backs, Braxton Garrett, Zach Gallen. D-backs minus 210, Marlins plus 176, over under 8, overs minus 118, unders minus 104. Marlins plus 1.5 is minus 125, D-backs minus 1.5 is plus 104. For this one, this is a tough one. I'm going to go with over 4.5 Diamondbacks runs minus 114. Rangers Mariners. John Gray, Logan Gilbert. Mariners minus 162, Rangers plus 136, over under 8, overs even money, unders minus 122. Rangers plus 1.5 is minus 164, Mariners minus 1.5 is plus 136. Full game over. Last but not least, 9:45, Nats Giants. Jake Irvin, Anthony DeSclafani. Giants minus 230, Nats plus 190, over under 8.5, minus 110 each way. Nats plus 1.5 is minus 113, Giants minus 1.5 is minus 106. Joel Irvin's been pretty good this year, or Jake Irvin's been pretty good at Washington this year. Just throwing it out there. I'm going to go with the Nats on the run line, plus 1.5 at minus 113. I don't know if they'll win outright, but I think that game is going to be close. All right, now I'll move on to soccer. We'll go over everything from the weekend and look ahead to everything going on today. All right, Bundesliga from the weekend. Cologne over Leverkusen 2-1. Schalke over Mainz 3-2. Gladbach over Bochum 2-0. Augsburg over Union Berlin 1-0. Hertha over Stuttgart 2-1. RB Leipzig over Freiburg 1-0. Hoffenheim over Frankfurt 3-1. Bayern over Bremen 2-1. And then Sunday, Dortmund over Wolfsburg 6-0. English Premier League from the weekend. Chelsea over Bournemouth 3-1 from Saturday. Man City over Leeds 2-1. Tottenham over Crystal Palace 1-0. Wolves over Aston Villa 1-0. Liverpool over Brentford 1-0. Yesterday, Arsenal over Newcastle 2-0. West Ham over Man United 1-0. And then 3 games today, 10 o'clock, you have Fulham and Leicester. I'm going to try to... Here we go. Fulham plus 165, Leicester plus 155, draw plus 250. I'm going to go with the draw plus 250. 12:30, Brighton and Everton. Brighton minus 300, Everton 7-1, draws plus 440. Brighton's really good. Can't bet against them. We'll go over 3.5 goals plus 132. Then 3 o'clock, Nottingham Forest, Southampton. Nottingham minus 105, Southampton plus 280, draw plus 250. Nottingham minus 105, Southampton plus 280, draw plus 250. I'm going with Nottingham at minus 105. Serie A, Saturday, Milan over Lazio 2-0. Inter Milan over AS Roma 2-0. Cremonese over Spezia 2-0. Then Sunday, Juventus over Atalanta 2-0. Torino Monza 1-1 draw. Napoli over Fiorentina 1-0. Verona over Lecce 1-0. And then today, 12:30, you have Empoli and Salernitana. Empoli plus 120, Salernitana plus 190, draws plus 185. I'm going to go with Empoli at home plus 120. Udinese and Sampdoria. Udinese minus 240, Sampdoria 6-1, draws plus 340. For this one, I'm going to go under 2.5 goals minus 102. And 245, Sassuolo and Bologna. Sassuolo's plus 135, Bologna's 2-1, draws plus 230. I'm going to go with Sassuolo at home and plus 135. Eredivisie. RKC Waldwick over FC Volendam 4-1 on Friday. Saturday, PSV over Sparta 1-0. Heerenveen over NEC 3-2. FC Utrecht over Cambuur 3-0. Ajax AC Alkmaar 0-0 draw. And then Sunday, FC Twente over Emmen 3-0. Feyenoord over Excelsior 2-0. Go Ahead Eagles and FC Groningen 1-1 draw. Fortuna over Vitesse 2-0. The Women's Super League on Friday, Arsenal over Leicester 1-0. Sunday, Man United over Tottenham 3-0. Brighton over West Ham 1-0. Liverpool over Man City 2-1. Aston Villa over Reading 5-0. And Chelsea over Everton 7-0. League One, Saturday, Nice over Venice 2-0 or 2-1. Reims over Lille 1-0. Lens over Marseille 2-1. Sunday, Monaco over Angers 2-1. Toulouse, AC Ajaccio 0-0 draw. Clermont Foot over Auxerre. That's a 1-1 draw too. Lorient over Brest 2-1. Strasbourg over Nantes 2-0. Lyon over Montpellier 5-4. And PSG over Troyes 3-1. All right, MLS from the weekend. Saturday, CF Montreal over Orlando 2-0. Charlotte over NYCFC 3-2. Cincinnati over DC United 2-1. Miami over Atlanta 2-1. Philly over Red Bulls 1-0. San Jose over LAFC 2-1. New England over Toronto 2-0. Dallas and St. Louis did not play. It was an abandoned game. Houston, Salt Lake, 0-0 draw. Nashville over Chicago, 3-0. Colorado over LA Galaxy, 3-1. Portland, Austin, 2-2 draw. Vancouver over Minnesota, 3-2. And then Sunday, KC over Seattle, 2-1. All right, the Women's Soccer League, Saturday. Washington over San Diego, 3-1. Portland, North Carolina, 3-3 draw. Orlando over Louisville, 1-0. OL Reign over Houston, 2-0. And then Sunday, Gotham over Chicago, 2-1. And Angel City over Kansas City, 3-2. Liga MX. Saturday, Cruz Azul loses to Atlas 1-0. And then Santos, Pachuca, 4-4 draw, but Santos advances 4-2 on penalties. Sunday, Athletic San Luis over Leon, 3-1. Tigres over Puebla, 1-0. And then La Liga, we won't see until Friday. Now we're going to talk about the Kentucky Derby results from Saturday. It was an interesting race, to say the least. One of the longer shots won the race, which was pretty cool. And your winner, Mage, coming in second to Phil's. That was my pick. Third, Angel of Empire. Fourth place was Disarm. Fifth was Hit Show. Sixth, Dermasotogate. Seventh, Tapatrice. Eighth, Raise Cane. Ninth, Rocket Can. 10, Confidence Game. 11, Sun Thunder. 12, Mandarin Hero. 13, Reincarnate. 14, King's Barnes. 15, King Russell. 16, Verifying. 17, Jace's Roads. 18, Cyclone Mischief. And the really sad news was that Forte was the favorite to win this race, was scratched. And it was my pick to win the Derby. Just unfortunate. And then Two Phils was my OG runner-up. And then my pick to come in third was Tapit Trice. And then Angel of Empire was in consideration. To be my my third place pick. And then Two Phils finished 1 length behind Mage. And then the horse that I think I picked to come in third was either Dermasotogate or I think it was one of the Japanese horses. It might have been in Reincarnate. I don't remember who it was that I picked to come in third. But I know it was one of the Japanese horses. All right, now we'll go over the results from the Wells Fargo Championship. We will go over the results very quickly. And your winner with a score of 19 under, Wyndham Clark coming in second, 15 under, Xander Schauffele tied for third with 12 under. Tyrrell Hatton and Harry English tied for fifth with 11 under. Tommy Fleetwood and Adam Scott seventh with 10 under. Michael Kim tied for eighth with 9 under. Dylan McCarthy, Max Homa, Corey Connor, Sungwoo Jin, Sunjay M, Kangwoo Lee, Brendan Todd tied for 14th with 8 under. Gary Woodland, Jimmy Walker, Justin Thomas, Ricky Fowler, Kevin Strowman, Seamus Power, Alex Smalley. So Strowman, Power, Smalley were all tied for 18th with 7 under. And the rest of the group was 14th with 8 under. Tied for 21st with 6 under, Patrick Hanley, Dylan Wu. Tied for 23rd with 5 under, Tony Finau, Tom Kidd, Matt Kuchar, Emiliano Grillo. Tied for 27th with 4 under, Stefan Yeager, Mark Hubbard, Taylor Moore, Adam Svensson, Doug Gim, J.J. Spawn, Nate Lashley, Trevor Crow. Tied for 35th with 3 under, Matt Fitzpatrick, Keegan Bradley, Chad Remy, Matthew Neesmith, Ryan Palmer. Tied for 40th with 2 under, Francesco Monterey, Joseph Berlant, Kramer Hickok. Tied for 43rd with 1 under, Hayden Buckley, Victor Hoven, Saiwoo Kim, and Ashkay Bahita. Tied for 47th at even, Bayo Hassel, Rory McIlroy, Zach Blair, Scott Stevens, Alejandro Tosti, Trey Mullinax, Henrik Norlander, Dylan Lingmerth, MJ Daffé. Now we're going to go through notables. Tied for 56 with 1 over, Ryan Morse, C. Thigley, Chris Kirk. Tied for 59th with 2 over, Keith Mitchell, Cam Davis, Harrison Endicott, Justin Sue, and Cam Young. Tied for 64th at 3 over, Webb Simpson, Austin Eckler, Callum Tarrant. 67th with 5 overs, Stuart Zink. 68th with 8 over, Nate Hardy. Among those cut, Jason Day, Lucas Glover, Robert Streb, Justin Lauer, Scott Piercy, Adam Hadwin, Aaron Wright, James Hahn, Carson Young, Cheng Sapon, Sam Burns, Adam Schenk, Robbie Shelton, Will Gordon, Lucas Hodges, Adam Long, Nicholas Echeverria, JT Potson, Eric Cole, Chasen Hadley, Davis Thompson, Grayson Higo, Chester V, Troy Merritt, Nate Watney, Danny Willett, Alex Loren, Richie Wierenski, Shane Lowry, Ryan Moore, Joel Domin, Evan Van Rooyen, Michael Thompson, Martin Laird, Matt Wallace, Russell Knox, Ben Taylor, Cam Champ, Ben Griffin, Grayson Seek, Max McGreevy, Jason Duffner, Sub Straka, Mackenzie Hughes, Doc Redmond, Taylor Cohn, Davis Lipsky, Colin Morikawa, Brian Harmon, Paul Haley, Sungwoo Kim, Ben Martin, Patrick Rogers, Austin Smeldon, Taylor Pendrith, Taylor Montgomery, Dylan Fratelli, Kevin Tway, Kurt Katayama, Joaquin Herman, Jordan Spieth, Zach Johnson, Luke List, Davis Riley, Ruby Sabatini, Tyler Duncan, Lucas Griffin, Sam Ryder, Pat Gazier, Tyson Alexander, Matthias Schwab, Andrew Landry, and among those that went through, Peter Malnati and Adam Putnam. All right, now NASCAR, we'll go over the results from the weekend. We only had truck and cup this weekend. We'll start with the trucks. They were at Kansas. Your winner, Grant Effinger, coming in second. Corey Heim, third. Zach Smith, Stuart Friesen, fourth. Ross Chastain, fifth. Coming in sixth, Nick Sanchez, seventh. Kyle Busch, eighth. Jake Garcia, ninth. Tanner Gray, 10th. Tanner Ingram. The rest, Matt Craft and Haley Deegan, Daniel Dye, Brett Holmes, Tony Bredinger, Ben Rhodes, Lois Allen, Tanner Gray, Johnny Sauter, Brendan Poole, Nick Leitz, Timmy Hill, Justin Carroll, Josh Rume, Ty Majeski, Spencer Boyd, Mason Maggio, Chris Wright, Matt DiBendetto, Christian X, Carson Hosfar, Dean Thompson, Chase Purdy, Raja Caruth, Colby Howard, and Tim Vaines. And then the Cup Series from Kansas, your winner, Denny Hamlin, coming in second. Kyle Larson, third. William Byron, fourth. Bubba Wallace, fifth. Ross Chastain, sixth. Joey Logano, seventh. Chase Elliott, eighth. Martin Truex Jr., ninth. Tyler Riddick, 10th. Austin Dillon, The rest: Kevin Harvick, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Eric Almirola, AJ Allmendinger, Daniel Suarez, Ryan Blaney, Chris Buescher, Justin Haley, Brad Keselowski, Corey LaJoie, Eric Jones, Ty Dillon, JJ Yeley, Todd Gilliland, Josh Berry, Michael McDowell, Ryan Preece, Brendan Poole, Noah Gragson, Harrison Burton, Austin Cindric, Chase Briscoe, Josh Bleakey, Ty Gibbs, Kyle Busch, and Chris Bell. Alrighty, the NHL draft lottery is tonight. The Connor Bedard sweepstakes. Somebody is going to win a big prize, a life-changing prize. The best prospect since Connor McDavid. Everybody should be really excited about this. Teams tanked this year to get him. This is like the Victor Wembanyama of hockey. So this is why it's such a big deal to get the best prospect since Connor McDavid. So this is a once-in-a-decade player. Like, we had it with Crosby. We had it with McDavid. Now we're going to have it here with Bedard. So the lottery is going to be at 8 o'clock on ESPN. And this is one of those lotteries where you can't trade the number one pick. I'm sorry, you just can't. But I understand there's been some big prospects that have been misses in any sport recently. Most notably Zion. Not that he's a miss already, but like right now it looks like a miss because all he does is sit there in street clothes. I mean, hockey, I guess the latest example of this has been Alexei Lafreniere of the Rangers, who hasn't really worked out. Although that's partly because of the coaching there, and they're trying to win, and Lafreniere really hasn't gotten the playing time to prove himself. So this is a big deal. I mean, Jack Hughes is everything that the Devils wanted him to be. Austin Matthews is everything that the Maple Leafs wanted him to be. I know people look at Hughes as the next McDavid, which he might be. He might as well be on his way to that. But this is the best prospect since McDavid. And then Wembanyama is going to be the best prospect since LeBron, although we thought of that as Zion. But that kind of was proven to be false. All right, so the lottery odds I want to go over real quick. The Anaheim Ducks have 18.5% chance to win the Connor Bedard sweepstakes. Coming in second here is the Columbus Blue Jackets at 13.5%. The Chicago Blackhawks have 11.5%. The San Jose Sharks have 9.5%. Montreal Canadiens 8.5%. Arizona Coyotes 7.5%. Philadelphia Flyers 6.5%. Washington Capitals 6%. Detroit Red Wings 5%. St. Louis 3.5%. Vancouver 3%. Ottawa Senators 2.5%, but the pick will go to the Coyotes if it's not in the top 5 as a result of the Jacob Chychrun trade. Ouch. At least they keep it if it's in the top 5. Buffalo 2, Pittsburgh 0.5 or 1.5, Nashville 0.5, Calgary 0.5. So he's just been amazing. He plays in the WHL, the Regina Pats, 143 points this season. I think that the league is going to somehow rig the lottery for a team that is a popular team to win it. I feel like they rigged it with the Rangers twice in a row, but neither guy has panned out so far. And Capo Caco in the second overall pick, and then the next year, Alexei Lafreniere been the number 1 overall pick. Neither of those have worked out. But the league pretty much gifted them the top 2 picks in those drafts. Like we've seen rigged lotteries before in the NHL. Montreal won the lottery, if I'm not mistaken, last year. And yes, they did. But they had the worst record last year. So that would make sense. But the Kraken picked who was the best prospect, though, which was funny, and Shane Wright. All right, so but if I'm not mistaken, yeah, so the most notable, so in 2021, the league alternated the format of the lottery. The most notable was that teams can only move up 10 spots in the lottery process, which means only the top 11 teams have a shot to land the number 1 pick. So the Pittsburgh Penguins can't get him. Flames out. Preds out. So Buffalo's out. And then Ottawa's out. So it's Vancouver, St. Louis, Detroit, Washington, Flyers, Arizona, Montreal, San Jose, Chicago, Columbus, Anaheim. All right. So here we go. Like I said, I have a feeling that the league is going to try to step in here and try to rig it for a franchise that needs life, needs a franchise player, and they want it to be marketable. He's Canadian, so it only makes sense for him to be playing in the state of Canada, where there's a lot of young talent on this particular roster, but the team isn't very good yet. I would say for the second consecutive year, the Montreal Canadiens win the draft lottery. I think Anaheim will be second. The Chicago Blackhawks will be third. Columbus 4. San Jose 5. And then the lottery will stand from 6 to 16. So I don't think like Pittsburgh's going to dramatically move up to the third pick. You know what I mean? Or it would be the fourth pick in theory. That would be something if the Pittsburgh Penguins move up to 4 in the lottery. So let's do like the what ifs game. All right, if Anaheim gets Connor Bedard, obviously him and their young guns, including Trevor Zegras, it would be fun to watch. Columbus would be playing with Johnny Gaudreau. Chicago, you would instantly become the face, arguably, of Chicago sports, right up there with Justin Fields and some of the other guys they have. So he would become the face of Chicago sports unless the Cubs landed Shohei Ohtani, which I still think is in play. The Sharks give that franchise some life, and they would have a new face of the franchise. Montreal, you'd be playing with Nick Suzuki and all that young talent there in Montreal, playing for Marty St. Louis, which I think is going to happen. Arizona, that would give that fan base new life and new energy. Philadelphia, pretty much the same thing. Like, a lot of their veterans are out the door, and he would just bring a lot of energy to that fan base. And then he would challenge for the best athlete in Philadelphia with Bryce Harper and Joel Embiid and Jalen Hurts for that. The Capitals, him and Ovechkin, that would be really, really funny. And then he'd be learning from one of the greats. Detroit, he would be their best center probably since Henrik Zetterberg in his prime. So he'd be playing with Dylan Larkin in a 1-2 punch there. St. Louis, they need like a new face of their franchise. So that would like give that fan base some life. And in Vancouver, boy, if any fan base could use some uplifting, it's them. They've just been a shit show for a while. Bruce Boudreau, that was an ugly firing. They trade Bo Horvat, their captain. So I really think that there's a good chance that if he ends up in Vancouver, like, do they keep Elias Pettersson around? I'd say maybe. Then him and Elias Pettersson would be a good one too, and then be them two and Brock Besser, and maybe in JT Mota, and that all of a sudden becomes a formidable team again in the West if he goes there. So out of all the teams, if he went to one of these 11 teams, would make the jump into the playoffs right away, to me it'd be the Capitals, because then that offense is better. They still have some talent on their roster. If they get Bedard, then they should not blow it up and rebuild. They should keep their talent and try to win now and take advantage of the Rangers potentially declining in Pittsburgh and the Islanders in Carolina. The Devils, they might regress next year, but because they have a franchise player in Jack Hughes, it'd be hard for them to regress. So if he goes to the Capitals, I think the Capitals become like an instant playoff team. And then if he goes to Vancouver, I feel like they could potentially challenge for a wild card with him. Anaheim still has holes with him. So does Columbus. Blackhawks, same thing. Montreal, or you could make a case for the Red Wings too to potentially be a playoff team with Bedard. And maybe Montreal, if they were to make some win-now moves around him. But the question is Carey Price. I think Carey Price should just retire, personally, because that's going to be hanging over their heads, their goaltending situation. So that's why I don't think Montreal becomes an instant playoff team with Bedard. But most likely become an instant playoff team with Bedard, I'm going to say, is the Capitals, and then the Canucks, and then the third choice for that would be the Red Wings. Too bad the Sabres don't have a chance at landing him. Unfortunate. But Buffalo could get the third pick, which is a decent consolation prize. All right, last but not least, news and notes. So, I just wanted to do a segment on the NHL lottery because Connor, like I said, Bedard's the best prospect since McDavid, so we had to talk about it. The Weekend is eyeing the Ottawa Senators, competing against bids that include Ryan Reynolds and Snoop Dogg. So this is going to be a fun bidding war for this franchise. There's a viral fan that was reading a book at a Dallas Stars hockey playoff game, which was really funny. Joel Embiid had a moment with his son during the MVP ceremony on Friday night in Philly. James Harden keeps promise to MSU shooting victim John Howe as he attended Game 4 as Harden's guest, and he saw Harden hit the game-winning three. Doc also let James Harden go to Vegas before the Celtics series, which is really funny. Sam Howell will get first shot at starting quarterback job in Washington. That's not surprising. Tom Brady disputes the Post report that he may walk away from the Fox deal. Fake news. The Colts may sue the Commanders as Jim Irsay hints that the team could pursue tampering case against Washington amid rumors of contacting Andrew Luck. A crazy story is that the Cardinals won't use Wilson Contreras at catcher much in the coming weeks and will primary DH or play corner outfield. And then it says Contreras won't play outfield. As they say, he'll play DH. Oakland Athletics play-by-play broadcaster Glenn Coopier suspended and will be off the air until review of a racial slur on Friday night. If you saw the video, he clearly said a racial slur. Coopier should not return as Oakland play-by-play announcer. He was trying to say the Negro League, which is a museum in Kansas City. And he obviously said a racial slur. And he's rightfully suspended. And I think he's going to be fired. And now the question is who replaces Coopier. That question we'll talk about when he is fired. There was a viral video going around. And sometimes those pregame segments are filmed before the game. Like, I've been in the game for those segments are filmed before the game. Like the open to games. So that's surprising. If it wasn't live, it's surprising that the Athletics allowed that to air. So that must have been live, because if it wasn't live, then I don't know what would have happened. Unless if it wasn't live and then somebody leaked it. But there's got to be more to this if it wasn't live. But it had to have been live, because if it wasn't live, then the Athletics would not have aired that. They're a better organization, and NBC Sports out there is better than that. So we'll see what happens there. Sad news in baseball. Vida Blue dies at the age of 73. World Series champion with the A's. Won AL MVP and Cy Young in 1971. Thoughts and prayers to the A's and everybody. And from the San Francisco Giants, too. Matt Harvey retires after 9 seasons. Matt Harvey, very interesting career, obviously. Bartolo Colon threw out the Mets' first pitch on the 7-year anniversary of his first career home run that he hit in San Diego. One of the best home runs I've ever seen. So Clayton Kershaw was put on the big screen at Petco Park following Friday night's loss to the Padres, and Kershaw kept himself honest, to his credit. Dodgers-Padres will open the 2024 season with their first MLB games ever played in South Korea, so that's pretty cool. Emmanuel Quickly doubtful for Game 4 with a sprained left ankle. Tom Thibodeau says everything is on the table with the Knicks down 2-1 against Miami, so they could potentially play Rose and Fournier, which, yikes. Those guys are washed. But then again, we said the same thing about Kevin Love people said the same thing about Kevin Love and Kyle Lowry, and they look like they're in their primes in this series against the Knicks. And they also looked like that against Milwaukee. Josh Hart likely staying in New York as he is set to enter free agency, but it appears inevitable that he will return to the Knicks. Jimmy Butler did play in Game 3, as we talked about. Mattress Mac had a big bet, a $1.2 million horse that fell behind early, and the comeback came up just short. Jake Moody was a third-round pick by the Niners, and John Lynch said that teams tried to get in front of them to select Jake Moody. Are we sure about that? Because I don't think teams should draft kickers on day 2 of the draft. You draft them in like round 6 or round 7. Chiefs running back Isaiah Pacheco played in the Super Bowl with a broken hand and a torn labrum. That's insane. And he was good in the Super Bowl too. Bronny James commits to USC as he commits to the Trojans on Instagram. So that's not surprising. LeBron made his post. He's so damn proud, he says, after his son committed to USC. So that's good news for the Lakers because then LeBron's more likely to stay with the Lakers because his son's going to USC. So Tariq Whitehead, to get second surgery, will undergo another foot procedure, expected to be ready for regular season. So that's going to hurt his draft stock. And Bronny's on radar for NBA teams after committing to SC. LeBron says he's still serious about playing with the son in the NBA. The Pistons are eyeing Dylan Brooks as they are linked as a team to watch this summer for a potential landing spot for him. Gervonta sentenced in a crash as he'll serve 90 days of home detention and 3 years of probation for 2020 hit and run that injured 4. Yikes. That's a sad situation, and I always say as long as he serves your punishment. So it looks like he's going to serve his punishment. But that's fair. But thoughts and prayers to all involved there. That's really sad. So another big story from the weekend is the New York Rangers and head coach Gerard Gallant part ways after first-round exit in the playoffs. I'm not surprised at all. Gallant really was exposed for me. And Lindy Ruff flat out outcoached him. Gallant really didn't make adjustments. He failed to play the kids line. And now the question is, where do the Rangers go? Everybody's mother and such went to Joel Quenneville. Everyone and their mother. And then Larry Brooks reported that Joel Quenneville won't be a part of the coaching search. And then somebody else said he was, but Larry Brooks is most tied into the Rangers than anybody, so he trusts what Larry Brooks says. Although I think he is a little harsh at times in the media, but he's never usually wrong. So it looks like it's not going to be Joel Quenneville, which is, I hate to say this about a coach that won 3 Stanley Cups, but it's a good thing because of the off-ice issues. That's good if you're a Rangers fan. I think the favorite for this job is current AHL Hartford Wolfpack coach Chris Knobloch, who's done a fantastic job in Hartford. I think he could be the next Jared Bednar, where you coach in the AHL and you have success there, and then you move up and succeed in the NHL. We saw that happen with Jared Bednar in Colorado, except his first year in Colorado, the Avs were bad, and they underachieved, but they kept him around, and then they turned into a contender under him. But the Rangers are more win now than the Avalanche were back then, although the Avs did have McKinnon and Landeskog back then. So I would support the Rangers hiring Chris Knobloch for sure. People threw Patrick Raw, the former Avs coach, but he was bad in Colorado. A lot of people think the Rangers will go with a retreat coach. Quinville won't be the guy, though. Maybe Peter Laviolette. Maybe Barry Trotz if they get him out of the GM job in Nashville, which I doubt. He's the best retreat coach. Laviolette, I feel like, is just kind of stale. Is it someone that's still coaching in the playoffs? I mean, a lot of people throw Mike Sullivan out there, but he kind of fits that retreat bill to me a little bit. The Pens haven't won a cup in over 5 years. I know and he's been a coach of some underachieving teams over the last 5 years. So Mike Sullivan, really good coach, but Pittsburgh's not firing him. If they were going to fire him, they would have done it already, unless the new front office does. But the ownership in Pittsburgh loves Mike Sullivan, loves him. So I don't see them firing Mike Sullivan. I think Mike Sullivan is going to stay in Pittsburgh. I really do. And I don't see a world where they potentially give up compensation to the Rangers. Well, the Rangers are going to have to give up compensation for some of these retreat coaches if they go in that direction. I mean, some people threw Bruce Boudreau. I think his tenure in Vancouver was so sour there at the end. He's somebody that hasn't had major success since he was with the Ducks. But even that Ducks team didn't win a cup. They came close in 2015, but they didn't pull through. So it's a good question of where do the Rangers go, but at gunpoint I think it's going to be Chris Knobloch from the Hartford Wolfpack. And the funny thing is that the top candidates for the Jack Adams award from last year are all no longer with their teams. Darryl Sutter fired, and that's another one the Rangers should not go near. Gallant fired, and then Andrew Burnett of the Panthers. At the time, I thought the Panthers made a mistake by not retaining him. They went with Paul Maurice, but it looks like the right call because they're up 3-0 on the Maple Leafs right now, and they beat the Bruins with Paul Maurice. So Andrew Burnett would be another Rangers candidate that I would support. He did a great job with the Panthers, and he, like I said, he deserved the head coaching job there. He did. But the Panthers, not that they did the right thing, but it didn't look like the worst move ever now. So, there you go. Luis Garcia needs Tommy John. That's a big loss for the Astros in their bullpen. The Phillies offered Aaron Nola $100 million plus, as he was offered a 9-figure contract during the offseason, and is set to hit free agency this year. So he probably wants more money than the Phils offered. And then Michael Kay of the Yes Network says that the Yankees might call up Jason Dominguez this season. I know a lot of people are going to laugh when they hear that from Michael Kay because of the reputation he has among fans, especially his own fan base. But he was the one that said that he thought Anthony Volpe had a shot to make the team, and he was right. He was the one that reported that the Aaron Judge, the arson judge story was false. But it was like him and John Heyman kind of like at the same time realized it was false. So Kay has been on the money with his like kind of reporting skills ever since he heard that the arson judge, aka Aaron Judge, or vice versa, going to San Francisco wasn't true. So that's that. All right, so that's it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything and looking ahead to everything tomorrow. as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.